it's TVC Mario, and you're here for another edition of New World Order Exposed. In today's video, I wanted to go ahead and take the opportunity to share that video with you that the mainstream media is never going to show you of what is taking place with migrants in Europe. What you just witnessed was a whole bunch of quote-unquote refugees who basically hit the streets and protested after living off the welfare state and being allowed into the country and hosting up signs like this one: the followers of Muhammad will conquer America. So what I'm going to begin to do on this YouTube channel is begin to expose this New World Order agenda. Now, a lot of you have been brainwashed by the media to think that in the name of tolerance, love, and diversity, it is a good thing to let these quote-unquote, and I'm saying quote-unquote because they're not refugees, and I can show you that, refugees into the country is the best, most humanitarian thing we can do, not taking into consideration any logic. If you do any studies on cultural diversity, you're going to see that any report or scientific study of countries who have adopted this concept of multiculturalism have always had complete negative effects. You see, the problem is it's a fairy tale to believe that these individuals coming from mainly Islam and the East are going to culturally assimilate themselves to the West. It's a fairy tale dream pitched to us by our hippie leaders who are liberal lost mental cases who need to be locked up and are literally going to destroy our countries with their ideologies that are not founded in truth, reason, or logic. So it's time to expose it. What I'm going to do in this video here today to get this started is provide you a lot of information. And in fact, it's going to be from these videos. Black Pigeon Speaks. I do owe it to Black Pigeon here on YouTube to really help me understand this concept. And these are the videos that have really awakened me and started me on my own proactive personal research to discover what is truly going on with the immigrant issue. Now, this video is very important. Migrant sexual emergencies. What you need to recognize as well with this issue is that the mainstream media is not telling us the truth about what's going on. For the most part, they're not going to be telling you about the stories that you should be concerned about when it comes to the migrant issue. Okay, for example, there's all these quote-unquote sexual emergencies that are breaking out in countries where they're letting in all these migrants into their countries. And there's some sick, twisted things that are just unbelievable that are taking place. There's molestation of little 10-year-old boys and younger. The migrants are running into swimming pools, okay? And they're saying, oh, it's a problem. I have a sexual emergency, okay? And then he points, and I know this is graphic and sick, but I do need to warn you, this is what we're dealing with. He points to his testicles being very large, and he says that's a sexual emergency. You see, these people, for the most part, and I don't want to insult you if you come from these countries, but a very large percent, and it's just fact, 60% are illiterate and basically are going to be no use to us and just live off our welfare state and you know, raise up our taxes over here. But they're barbarian, okay? I mean, it's pretty crazy that we are seeing massive gang rapes taking place at the pools. There are girls 14, 17 years old, okay, who are being raped, grope raped, gang raped by all the migrants. And this is story after story. Nightclubs experiencing the same thing, okay? And if you can watch this video, it's in the sick, twisted religion of Islam. If you think Islam is a religion of peace, you don't understand what you're actually reading. I'm going to leave this in the description section for you. It's a great apologetic YouTube channel by brother David Wood, who absolutely exposes Islam for the disgusting false religion that it is. Okay, and I'm sorry, that's just the truth. And I know that might not be politically correct in today's triggered emo society, but I don't care. The truth is the truth, whether you like it or not, okay? And Islam, when you follow it correctly, radicalizes people. And this is the problem that we're seeing. We're seeing false religion that teaches some really sick things. So anyways, take the time to watch this video, but I do warn you, you'll be very disturbed. These cultures are not looking to assimilate themselves to us. Let's just get real, okay? These men, for the most part, in their countries are used to women who are completely dressed up, okay? you can't even see their eyes. And then all of a sudden they come here and our women are barely dressed. And of course, now you have things in Europe where grade school girls in Germany are ordered to cover up so as to not provoke Muslim refugees. You see, we are having to accommodate ourselves. We are having to change here in the West because of this new cultural assimilation, which won't happen. Even so, there are signs at the pools that have to be put up where they need to tell the migrants that if a woman guard tells you the same thing as a man, you need to obey, because in their religion they disregard women. They don't respect women. So if a woman tells them something, they're not listening. So they need a sign to tell them. And they also need a sign to tell them very simple things that we would just normally just know, like not to harass women. So I don't want this in my country. I'm very sorry. This scientific project from the elite leaders of the world to have multiculturalism and diversity into the country is a psychotic idea that is set to fail. It's failing all over Europe. I'm about to show you a disgusting scene. I do warn you, but this is the treatment of women that is happening because our American Western women talk back to them. So these refugees who come from Islamic religions don't have a problem to completely beat up our women, to then stomp them like this. And I'm telling you, buddy, if you come to my country and I see you doing this, it's not gonna fly. Okay, we don't treat our women like this. You want to come over here and not culturally assimilate and try and force us with your Islamic religion, there's going to be some trouble. But we're going to stop this even before it happens. My prime minister, I'm a Canadian, by the way, I'm going to be destroying him. He is absolutely selling our country out. It's unbelievable. He has went and said that Canada has no core identity. No, Mr. Trudeau. Okay, when people come in your house and they can't even respect it, and they come and they put their feet up on your couch, okay, and they start disrespecting and molesting and doing all sorts of things like we're seeing them do in Europe, okay, we do have an identity. This is not some multicultural. By the way, get your facts straight. Canada is a bicultural nation. Canadian, French, and English, period. And Anglo-Saxon European, okay? You see this right here? This is Latin. This is a psalm from the Bible. Canada is under the authority of the Christian faith, okay? So you sell out, telling the Canadians that we don't have a core identity, and then selling us out to this wacky out hippie dream of multiculturalism, which will never work, which in essence, all you're trying to do, Mr. Trudeau, is bring about the first New World Order state. You even call it the first post-national state. No, we're not selling out to this New World Order globalized hippie dream of yours of multiculturalism and diversity that doesn't even function because the two cultures that you're trying to assimilate together don't. It doesn't happen. Okay, the one that you're letting into our country, by the way, they don't have, okay, a desire to assimilate. So they're going to try and submit us, as we just seen in the clip in the beginning. And why is it, Canadians, that you're not getting this information? Our media is bought out. Our media is completely leftist. It's a propaganda system for this guy. That's all. That's why we're not being told the truth on this. Okay, and at large in the world, we're not being told the truth about this real issue. Okay, Canada does have an identity. America does have an identity. We need to begin to protect our heritage, okay, from these sellout globalists who come in and run our country and literally overturn 500 years of Canadian heritage, okay, saying that we have no identity, trying to dismantle that. Anyways, I'll go ahead and leave that in the description section, but yeah. These are the actual things that we're dealing with the migrant issue. I'm going to be talking more about this whacked out dream of multiculturalism. Canada is actually being the first nation to really push this. They're literally, I mean, my country's run by a bunch of nut job liberals who don't even know any better. And I don't believe in the two-party system, okay? So don't get triggered right there and think that I would be in 100% support for the conservative puppet, because ultimately, even here in Canada, they have this system of a two-party system, and they pin them up, but they control both parties. But ultimately, we are really being ran with the policies right now of open borders to the ground. Okay, the thing is, Trump with this whole, trying to stop, which is a good thing, this from happening, this infiltration, this bringing in chaos into the country. He's actually trying to stop that. In response to that, guess what my flower-loving hippie prime minister did? He said, all you that won't be let into America, why don't you come here? Oh, Trudeau. Anyways, you're going to go toe-to-toe with me. You're loony. You're loony. okay? Do a little bit of a Google search right now. Anyone who just wants to take maybe 5 minutes to get a little bit of an education here on how diversity doesn't work. Look at societies, okay, that have tried to be diverse. It doesn't work. It results in less cohesion, less trust among the people, less unity, less everything. It's not a good thing, okay? And this is what he's actually going around pitching. You ever hear Trudeau, diversity is Canada's strength? When diversity itself as a social factor has always been proven in fact and reality and history to show that it's destructive. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have a substitute teacher, ski instructor as your prime minister. All right, more videos to come. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Stay vigilant and fear no evil.